All right, here we go. Welcome in on a Tuesday, a free-for-all Tuesday. You thought I was going to say Friday, didn't you? It's not Friday yet. No, it's just a mere Tuesday. A Tuesday post-season. Yep. So, in other words, Tuesday post-football season is the first Tuesday post-football season, which means it is officially a day that files under the category of what in the world are we going to talk about? I don't know.
I'm going to go ahead and jump in 1 minute in, and I'm going to tell you what we need to talk about.
What?
Today, on this day, December 10th, there is a birthday on this show. And let me tell you, it's not mine. Happy birthday, Matt Wyatt!
Man, I appreciate that, Beeve. I think you did a much better job of remembering my birthday than I did of yours, but we did both get it in. Also with us today to help celebrate this occasion, Beaver, at the beginning of the show.
Hey, Beaver.
The one and the only homecoming.
Hey, Annabeth.
Hey, I just came on to say happy birthday to Matt.
Aw, aren't y'all sweet?
Happy birthday, Matt.
Thank you. Thank you. Beav, I thought you were going to say that on this day, 207 years ago, Mississippi
That's right.
joined the Union, became a state.
Matt shares a birthday with the state of Mississippi.
Yep. On this day, 1817.
And also shares a birthday with Jack Crystal.
Today would have been
yeah.
It would have been Jack Crystal's 99th birthday.
How about that?
Today. How about that?
Well, happy birthday, Matt.
Thank you. And y'all really made me feel special. Hey, Beav, when I get up early in the mornings. 4:30 pretty much every day. So if Annabeth wants to surprise me with anything like in my office or whatever, she has to stay up late the night before to do it.
I don't actually have to stay up late because you go to bed early.
Yeah, well, later.
8:30.
So I walked in my office this morning at like 4:30. There were presents in here and a huge banner hung up from wall to wall in here that says "Happy Birthday."
I know. I thought you would have video on your
I don't have
show
cameras
today,
on.
and it would show up on your birthday video.
Yeah,
You'll have to take a picture of it.
I will. And also, Beaver, check this out. She got me a birthday lunch.
Really fancy, Beaver. The fanciest.
I sent him a picture.
The fanciest birthday lunch anyone could ever ask for.
Okay, it's Popeye's chicken. All right, Popeye's chicken, a biscuit, and some fries from Popeye's. But here's the thing.
Let's let everybody in on this. Tupelo really hasn't had a Popeyes except way on the other side of town.
Way over there.
And they just built one next to Chick-fil-A here in Tupelo. And so Matt's been saying, I need to run through that Popeyes, and we never go. And so I thought he deserved some fried chicken on his birthday.
Yeah. Yeah. So I had Popeye. And here's the thing. Here's the way Annabeth is, Beaver. She goes, what do you normally get at Popeye? I said, I usually get 3 strips.
Yeah, because I don't know because we never go.
Guess how many she got me? 5. Felt obligated, ate them all.
Beaver, I did try to make it look festive, and I stuck a candle in his biscuit.
She sure did.
Right?
And lit it. I got to blow it out and make a wish.
There you go.
Okay, so here's what I wished for.
You can't tell your wish.
I'm just kidding. I wasn't going to tell. Hey, but Beaver, also, she gave me a gift. She said, open this. I dig through it. It's a bag full of chocolate goodies. Peanut M&Ms, peanut butter M&Ms, Dove dark chocolate pieces, which I really like, and 2 different kinds of Reese's. Reese's.
That's okay.
One is they have Reese's that are shaped like an entire Christmas tree. We've talked about this before, right?
Yeah.
So a bag of those. But they now have Reese's that are shaped like the little Nutcracker doll.
And I got that for Matt because we spent the last 4 days at the Tupelo Ballet Nutcracker because Mary Liddy was in it.
Yeah.
Matt took pictures, and we've been there, and I'm just like, goodness, I didn't know Reese's did a Nutcracker.
Okay. So, and all these goodies. And so there's the first 2 food items, a Popeye's chicken lunch for my birthday.
Bag full
A
of
bag
chocolate.
full of chocolate.
Yeah.
Okay. And Beaver, one more thing. In my office here, in my chair, underneath this banner that's hanging from one side of the office to the other, says happy birthday, is get this, Beaver, a box of cookies that is 3.5 to 4 feet long.
It's really long.
I'm not kidding you.
I don't even know the brand.
It's as long as a baseball bat
It really
or longer.
is. It looks like a golf club.
I mean, classic cookie collection, 7 classic cookies. It says this thing weighs 1 pound and 12 ounces. But it does not give me the length, and so I'm only guessing, but I'm telling you the whole box is, and Beaver, I'll send you a picture of this, but here's what's in there, okay? And Beaver, it's my box of cookies. You don't have to approve or like them, but give me a yes or a no on these, okay? You ready? Here are the 7 kinds of cookies. Neapolitaner, crispy wafer with cocoa cream.
It looks really.
I'm not sure about that.
It looks pretty.
Cocoa Fleur, coconut cookie topped with dark chocolate and sprinkled with coconut.
I'll go with that.
Yes. Yes on that.
Yes.
That'll be the first one I try. Next, souffle, crispy and fine shortbread cookie. I need my glasses, man. What about that one?
I'll give it a yes.
Okay.
These all sound so fancy.
This
off.
is a fancy box of cookies.
I was trying to get fancy cookies to match Matt's fancy Popeyes lunch.
Man, it's the biggest, longest box of cookies I've ever seen.
know,
I don't know where this thing's going to stay.
I had never seen a box that big of cookies.
Okay, the next one is called Bellina, fine shortbread with dark chocolate. It's like a shortbread cookie, and they've dipped both ends in dark chocolate.
There you go.
I approve.
Yeah.
Okay, next is Chalky, chocolate cookie decorated with dark chocolate and milk chocolate.
There you go.
Yes.
And then this is going to be a challenge to say.
Spell it.
Stracciatella.
There you go.
Stracciatella. Round cookie with dark chocolate chips.
Yes.
All right. And
You'll
then,
have to send him a picture.
and then finally, this thing right here now. Listen to this. It's called Divina. Delicate pastry roll. It's like a cookie that's rolled up into it's like a cigar, basically. It looks like a cigar. But you eat it.
Matt's going to smoke a cookie today for his birthday.
It's just, you never know. We'll try it and see. Anyway, I'm really, Annie, thank you for the gifts on the birthday here.
You're welcome.
And again, it's all these food items, and I've been counting calories and trying to cut back, but I feel like.
Calories don't count on your birthday. Everyone knows that.
But there's a message in this
Oh.
food.
Treat yourself.
Well,
It's your birthday.
Well, but I was telling my dad this morning on the phone. It's like it has hit me that you really do love me. And this is your way of saying, look, go ahead, eat, get fat. I don't care. I'm going to love you anyway.
I do love you, Matt.
You don't care if I have abs that pop out and pecs and you don't care about that anymore.
Okay.
That's out the window now.
Thank you, Matt.
She loves me anyway.
I love
Here,
you.
have some chicken.
Have some cookies. have some cookies, and you can and you'll have dinner tonight and open your gifts up tonight with Mary Liddy. So, yeah.
Oh, and check this out. Along with all this chocolate, what goes great with chocolate?
Coffee.
Yes. And my friend Sam,
Oh yeah.
he didn't even know, I don't think he has any clue that it's my birthday.
He hooked you up.
He reached out to me and says, hey, I got a feeling you need some coffee. What do you need? And he's going to send me some new bags of coffee from High Point Roasters in New Albany, Mississippi. It's the best coffee in the wide world. You can get it online at highpointroasters.com. Sam, thank you. Y'all are hooking me up. Well, Annie, thanks for making me.
Happy birthday. I am sorry that the birthday banner is hanging. It's kind of hanging in front of the Farm Bureau banner. Sorry about that, Farm Bureau.
Yeah.
Just for today.
And also, I woke up
In the
to
bureau.
a really nice handwritten and made birthday cards from both you and Mary Liddy.
Yeah.
Mary Liddy made me one. Said really nice things. You had a birthday card, handwritten note for me,
Yeah.
long note. Paid me all kinds of compliments.
I like a handwritten note. You've turned me into that. I've always liked to buy a Christmas card
Yeah,
or a birthday card, and And you always write out your cards, and I think those are special. So.
Yeah. Well, hey, check this out, Beaver. True story. Annabeth, in her letter to me, there was one time she used a lot of different words to describe things that she thinks are positive attributes that I have. There's a long list of, you do this and this and this. But one thing that was not in there is that I'm good looking. She did not accuse me of being good
I
looking.
didn't mean to leave that out. I'll let Beaver remind you of how handsome you are on the show today. Okay, Beaver?
Oh, well, I don't want Beaver to remind me. No, I'm kidding. All right, so thanks for all that. Let me get to the text line, the country pleasing text line. Country pleasing, speaking of food, country pleasing sausage on grocery store shelves all around the Southeast. He texted me and just basically wants me to start the show the right way and said, "It's showtime, Matt. Hashtag showtime." That's
because we were doing birthday?
Well,
Sorry.
no, it's just the start of the show.
Okay.
And he's using the term that, they use for Jeff Levy.
Okay.
In the team, they call it showtime.
Yeah.
So he texted that to me, and he said, "It's a great day to be great."
Okay, then.
I agree. It is a great day to be great.
Yeah.
Now, Nick, you shorted me a few years here now
What?
because he texted in and he said, "Happy 50th birthday." I'm not there yet, Nick.
Not yet. Not yet. He's creeping that way.
Although, full disclosure.
Don't tell that story. Keep it to yourself, Matt. Move on to another subject. No.
I would just say she was a little shocked when we realized yesterday actually how old I actually am.
Well, I just missed it a year or two.
She missed it by a year.
I was like, wait a minute.
MSU 1980 texted the show and said, "Happy birthday, Matt." Well, thank you very much. And Nick, I was just having fun too. Thank you. But MSU 1980, thank you. He says, "If you give me some dates and times, I'll see if I can book us a time at Top Golf in Ridgeland. My
There
treat
you
for your
go.
birthday." Man,
Has it opened yet?
no, it opens on the 20th of this month.
Of this month?
Yes. And the thing about
You
it
may
is,
be down that way
right.
about that time.
Maybe down that way about the time it
How
opens up.
smart of them to open up right at Christmas break for people.
Yeah.
That's a good idea.
And MSU 1980, you may know, I haven't looked at it. I was curious if they take reservations before they actually open up. I guess you can maybe go online and look at that. And I appreciate the offer.
Maybe their website's open. I don't know.
Yeah. Bama fan texts the show. Look at here. We got a really nice Bama fan on the show.
That's sweet.
Matt, forget the calories on your birthday.
That's right. Nobody counts calories on their birthday.
He says, really? Just forget the calories all the way till January the 2nd.
And then just start over fresh. Yeah, there you go. I like that.
That's kind of dangerous, actually. Somebody like me. It's very hot and cold with me because it's a blessing and a curse. Even at this age, okay, my whole life I've been able to lose weight really fast if I wanted to. The problem is I can also gain it really fast if I want to do that. Or even
But
if
you're
I'm not.
6'6", so you can't even tell when you gain weight.
Yeah, I mean, that does help.
I'm so jealous of
It
that.
does help.
Yeah. It just stretches right out on you.
Spreads thin.
Spreads.
J-Rock says, happy birthday to Matt Wyatt and Mrs. J-Rock. Hey,
Oh,
his wife
his
is having a
wife.
birthday today. Well, tell
Happy
her,
birthday.
J-Rock, tell her I'm happy to be sharing a birthday with you and with her, and happy birthday to her, Mrs. J-Rock. Unnamed texter says, happy birthday, grateful for your life and that you always point your listeners to the true reason for the season, and I hope you have a blessed day.
That's sweet.
Well, thank you very much. Yeah, and what is a platform if it's not used for something that in reality it ought to be used for, something that is actually worth using it for?
Who was that football coach that we hear recently? Did you discuss
was,
that on your show already?
I didn't. That
Who was
the,
it? Boise?
Yeah, Boise's head coach. And I don't know his name.
I don't know anything about him. All I know is that excerpt that was going on social media.
Yeah. It was a great quote.
Yeah.
He said, Jesus died on the cross. He rose after 3 days. That's the God I serve. Anything is possible.
Yeah.
I thought, wow.
Yeah,
that's great.
I don't know who he is. I don't follow Boise, but I thought I like that guy.
My man RS, better known as Blind Squirrel on YouTube. He's a Georgia fan. Go Dogs! Wished me a happy birthday. He said, happy birthday to the one and the only Matt Wyatt.
That's really sweet.
You know, there's some other people named Matt Wyatt.
Yeah, I know.
I actually met one a few years ago who's like a big-time fiddle player in Nashville.
Oh.
Yeah.
How do you feel about having a December birthday?
Okay, our daughter, asked me that this morning on the way to school.
Oh, she did?
She sure did.
Because people will say, "Are you ready for Christmas?" And I really can't think about Christmas gifts because I'm thinking about your birthday first. And then once we have your birthday, then I think, okay, we need to get Christmas gifts. But I think of Matt's gifts first.
Well, yeah, and I said, mine being on the 10th is a little bit separated from Christmas.
Yeah.
She goes, Christmas, 15 days, Daddy. 15 days.
She's on the
wow.
She's on the countdown.
She's
so
counting it down.
You're far enough away from Christmas that you.
Yeah, it's not up against it.
Yeah.
It would be different if it was butt up against it.
Yeah.
But I'm always.
But you always celebrated growing up your birthday
We
separate
did.
from Christmas.
And if I'm remembering correct, again, you get this old, you could misremember things.
You could misremember.
But
is that a word?
I think I'm remembering this correctly, that my family growing up, mom, dad, myself, my sister, when we were young and when it was time to put up Christmas decorations, the benchmark on the calendar was always my birthday.
Your birthday.
We'd have my birthday, and then either that night or the next day, we do the Christmas decorations.
Well,
That's
fun.
Yeah. And so it was used for that too. December the 10th. I was born. Mama texted me and she said I was born in I think 4 o'clock in the morning.
Well, that's fitting for you because you love to wake up so early.
Yeah. I was born in the hospital in Montgomery, Alabama. And I think when Mom was pregnant with me, they were living in Clanton, Alabama, which is Chilton County, where the Chilton County peaches come from.
Right.
Chilton County, both where my mom and dad are from. My dad was from Clanton. Mom was from Maplesville. But I think they were living in Clanton when she was pregnant with me, which would then be about a 35-minute drive almost from there to get to Montgomery on I-65. Okay, so anybody who's ever ridden on I-65 south, through Birmingham, you're headed south. You go through Clanton where the big peach is and the peach park, and then you go past Prattville, and then you hit Montgomery. You know that before you get to Montgomery, before you cross the Alabama River, there's this long bridge that goes through that, sort of that delta area on the bank of the Alabama River that's very swampy and low. So they have that bridge a long way that you're on it, and it's bumpy. It's got those bridge sections, and every time you hit it, the car goes boom, boom. And so when you're going 65, 70, it goes boom, 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 for like a mile. Well, as that thing aged over the years, by the time I was born in the mid-70s, you hit it not only makes a noise, but it is an actual bump. One after the other. Every time you hit it, the car jumps up, boom, 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 for a mile, boom, boom. And Mama said that last mile or two of getting to the hospital, she's in labor. They've been riding in the car like a bat out of you-know-where for 35 minutes. And that they hit that bridge and those bumps, one after the other, boom, 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 boom.
Glad you weren't born on the bridge.
This is what she said. She said, you don't realize how close you were to being born on that bridge as we hit those bumps that day. Let's see, Mailman David. Now, you talk about a compliment here.
Yes.
Mailman David says, happy birthday, Matt. You're the only bulldog I can listen to talk for 2 hours.
How about that? Mailman who, David?
Mailman David.
I appreciate that, Mailman.
He said, have a great day.
That's great.
Yeah. Spencer Danielson is the coach, by the way, at Boise.
Oh,
That's his
okay.
name. Yeah.
We had a really good post-game interview.
Yeah. They're easy to pull for. Hey, I tell you what else. This weekend is the Army-Navy game.
Oh.
Was it you and I talked about that a little bit? Okay, well, I had a discussion this week. I must have thought it was you or somebody about the fact that, the service academies are not doing this. They're just not a part of this transfer portal and NIL world. They're just not a part of it by the nature of what they are, the service academies. Okay, but they do compete. So they've got veteran teams. You don't have guys that are getting a single solitary dime in pay for play. So when you watch Army and Navy, it's like watching the old school stuff. Like it's actual college juniors and seniors, and a bunch of them have developed. And anyway, and they're both really good, and they're going to play the Army-Navy game this weekend. And looking forward to it. And those are easy to pull for.
Oh, yeah.
At least, for some of us. Maybe not for the Air Force fans out there. Okay, but for us. Hill State fan on YouTube. Happy Tuesday to you. He said, today I am thankful that I work for United States Postal Service and not Canada's Postal Service. They have been on strike since November the 15th.
Are you serious?
Well, I realize that.
I'm not aware of this either.
So Canada's Postal Service has been on strike?
What?
So, let's say you live in Canada, you're going to celebrate Christmas, you have kids.
Yeah.
Hey, be like that movie Jingle All the Way. Have to go get them in person. Stand in line.
I didn't know about this going on in Canada.
I didn't know that it was going on either.
Yeah, I just Googled it.
So
Goodness
it's happening,
gracious. Huh? Yeah.
All right.
Gosh. I hope you weren't expecting a birthday card from someone in Canada.
Not that I know of. Hey, and on the text line, Boomer Sooner, 1980, Bama fan, real unnamed, the rest of you, I'm coming to your text as soon as we come back. And we're just getting started with you on this Tuesday.
Happy birthday, Matt.
Thank you. Stick around.
Today's game from Tuscaloosa, Alabama.
Time was their breakfasts were gloomy. They just didn't feel right, and they didn't know a delicious cereal could help their sad plight. So they tried this and tried that, but irregularity kept coming back all the same. For as often the case, lack of bulk in their diet was actually to blame. Once at the grocer's, the wife was so drooping and sagging that a neighbor said, "Get on Kellogg's All-Bran wagon. Why, All-Bran has a flavor that's scrumptious to eat. So rich and nut-like, makes breakfast a treat. And of course, Kellogg's All-Bran can help you each day to youthful regularity, the dietary way." "Well, it might do some good," said the wife with a sigh. "Guess I'll get some All-Bran and give it a try." Soon, breakfasts at her house were happy and bright, for delicious Kellogg's All-Bran set their day off right. Yes, All-Bran supplies all the bulk in your diet, you see, that you may need for youthful regularity. And no half-brand cereal possibly can provide this help as surely as Kellogg's All-Bran. A delicious, non-habit-forming aid to your diet. You're sure to like All-Bran. Just buy it and try it.
Get on the Kellogg's All-Bran wagon with the best bran in the land. The cereal that tastes bran, the cereal that's All-Bran, a breakfast treat that can't be beat. Be a regular guy and climb aboard the All-Bran wagon. Eat Kellogg's All-Bran.
What is the secret of this enchanted book? What wonders are hidden within its pages? What magical spell does it cast on all who read it? What is the secret of the never-ending story?
But that's impossible!
You will enter a world where a young boy's imagination becomes a vivid reality. The world of Atreyu and Artax, the Rockbiter, and a good and kind gnome. A world that is vast and eternal, treacherous and dazzling, unforgettable and free.
Yeah!
or anyone who's ever made a wish, believed in a fantasy, or had a dream. This is the never-ending story.
It's a new thing. It's a fun thing. It's a swing wing.
It's a what?
It's a swing wing. It's a wing wing. A brand new grand fun thing.
It's a what?
It's a swing wing. A fun thing. And now it's your favorite store thing.
It's a what?
Mazda announces some great news for truck buyers. Right now, you can beat the already outstanding value of the $67.95 Mazda SE5. Introducing Mazda SE5 Plus 5. $625 worth of extra features at no extra charge from Mazda. You get a bed liner, mud guards, sliding rear window.
All right, welcome back. Here in the Bureau, the Mississippi Farm Bureau Insurance Studio. Farm Bureau Insurance. Go! With the home team. They are your home team. I'm Matt. Beaver is here. We are being graced today by the presence of HQ. Miss HQ.
Hello.
Homecoming Queen. I've been getting some texts, not only on the Country Pleasing text line, coming to y'all, Boomer Sooner, 1980, Bama fan, unnamed, real unnamed, Scott from Philly, Earl, rest of y'all, coming to you. But I've also been getting texts on my handy-dandy iPhone from C-Spire. C-Spire, customer inspired, the number one network in Mississippi, hands down, not close. C-Spire. Check them out, cspire.com. I got a text from the Hammer. The Hammer himself, Henry Hamill.
Oh, that's great.
Mississippi Farm Bureau Insurance. Can hit a 3-wood as far as I can hit my driver. And he said that since it is a birthday, officially my birthday,
yes,
that today and tomorrow, I do have permission to allow the happy birthday banner to hang in front of the Farm Bureau Insurance banner in the studio.
Well, I don't feel so bad now that we have his permission. Mary Lee and I were hanging that up really late last night, and we were both worried. We were like, wait, it's over the Farm Bureau banner.
Yeah. So we got permission.
Which, by the way, I loved seeing all the Farm Bureau banners at the state high school football championships.
I know.
They're all so excited to win, and they're on the field, and there's Farm Bureau right there. That's neat.
Yeah.
That's really great.
Well, it really is.
It's a great partnership.
Well, and the thing about it is, okay, so we're diehard football fans, but if you follow Mississippi Farm Bureau Insurance on Facebook, every sport, I mean, every, MAIS, MHSAA, cross-country championships, golf, volleyball, basketball, baseball, softball, archery, you look at all of them, and Mississippi Farm Bureau Insurance and your local agents, they support all of it. They sponsor all of it because they want to support it and be a part of it. So, it's just really a great company.
And I thought it was neat. Jeff Holiday, who in Tupelo, he posted a picture, I remember a couple of days back when Tupelo won. He said he had been down there as a junior in high school when in 92.
Oh, really?
And that he got to take the Farm Bureau banner because he works for Farm Bureau. He got to take the banner and present it to the team when they won this past week. And I thought that's a really neat full circle moment for him with Farm Bureau.
I don't guess I realized that Jeff went to Tupelo High School.
Well, I think he did. He said he had the first state championship in 92 as a junior. And tonight he was able to deliver the Farm Bureau-sponsored state championship banner to Tupelo High School.
Yeah, how about that?
I just thought that was really neat.
So for those listening, what Annabeth's referencing, the last time Tupelo High School won the state championship in football was 1992. Mm-hmm. And then, of course, they won it this past weekend. And so those your last two. The last time they won it, 92, Tupelo's quarterback was named Kurt Presley.
Okay, I didn't realize that.
Okay, so if Kurt's a long distant cousin to Elvis Presley, maybe he is. There are Presleys in the area, obviously. And still. But Kurt, when he was a great high school quarterback, if he wanted to play football, he'd have played football. but he was such a phenomenal baseball player. He was a first-round draft pick out of high school by, I think, the Mets. And so he went ahead and signed the contract and went off into professional baseball. He was that kind of player. I mean, first round, you're a high school kid, you get drafted in the first round of the Major League Baseball draft.
Pretty big.
Yeah, in his case, he was, it's big time.
You might need to watch The Natural today. That's one of your favorite movies.
Yeah, I know. It's been too long.
When you look up what to do on your birthday, it says eat desserts, watch your favorite movie. You do that.
Well, and, that's true. To make me long for that spring weather.
Yeah, I know.
Because now we're soaking wet, and we had the freeze last week, so all the grass turned brown in 1 week. It was green, now it's brown. So we're full on winter, and it's about to get cold again. In North Mississippi tomorrow night, it's getting back down in the 20s, I think, for the next couple of nights. Anyway, I also got a text on my handy-dandy iPhone 15 Pro Max from C Spire from Scott Westerfield. Yes, that Scott Westerfield. Number 11 in your program, number 1 in your heart. Kicker for the Mississippi State Bulldogs, 1999. Game winner against Kentucky. Game winner in the Egg Bowl against Ole Miss. That's Scott Westerfield. And he texted me happy birthday, because he heard me mention Dove. You gave me different kinds of chocolate, and some of it was Dove chocolate. Yeah. And he said, remember those Dove bars on the airplanes on road trips? Let me tell you something.
Matt remembers them because he still loves them. He'll say, hey, get some of those Dove ice cream bars every once in a while.
It's the best ice cream that I think I've ever had. And I don't know if it was because, we'd be on these road trips and they'd stick us on an airplane. We're flying all over, and I'm a college football player, so I get this massive appetite, okay? And I'm tired of bananas and hoagies that we're always waiting on. And so if it was a long enough road trip, long enough flight, the attendants would come by and handed out these big round Dove ice cream bars. And I'm not ashamed. I would say, hey, anybody don't want their ice cream? I want it. And I'd get one. I'd eat 3 or 4.
Oh, Matt. You deserved it.
And ever since then, I've had an affinity.
Yeah, you do love them.
For Dove chocolate.
And Mary Liddy likes them because of you.
Yeah.
She'll say, did you get those kind that Daddy likes? And that's why you like them.
Okay. And then I went to Germany, after I graduated college. I went to Germany that first year out of school, played football over there in Hamburg.
What was the brand you would eat?
It was Magnum.
That's it.
And Magnum ice cream bars. I lived on the 6th floor of this. It was a really nice apartment on the 6th floor of this building. No elevator, by the way, in downtown Hamburg, Germany. And on the ground, it's a huge city. So like you come out of your apartment, it's like coming out of your 6th floor apartment in somewhere like New York almost. You come out, you're on a city street, there's skyscrapers and stuff. And at the ground level was a little deli built into the, I could come out of my apartment building and walk right in there.
That's great.
And when I discovered that they had the cooler sitting right there, I just opened it up and get one. And it was...
You'd walk the calories off by the time you got back up to the 6th floor.
It's about right. And as my dad would say, I flung a craving on those things. So, yeah, Dove chocolate holds a special place in my heart, Scott. As do you, Scott. As do you.
That's great.
Wherever you are.
That's great.
However you're listening. Boomer Sooner Country Pleasing text line. Country Pleasing sausage on grocery store shelves all around the Southeast.
And that was a good way to start your birthday.
Yes, ma'am.
Country Pleasing sausage.
Jalapeno and cheddar.
Can't go wrong.
Yeah. He said, happy birthday, Matt. Well, back at you, Boomer. I know it was a tough year for your Sooners, year 1 in the SEC. It just, one of those things. The stars did not align. But I will say yet again, and I will prove it, that the first day that the Oklahoma Sooners got to the SEC, they have one of the best fight songs in the SEC. There's no doubt. And one reason is because anybody can remember the words. All you got to know is Boomer Sooner. All right, Annie, sing along. You ready? Here we go. 1, 2, 3.
I don't know the words. I'm going to pass.
Okay. Pass on singing. MSU 1980 text and said... Okay, and I got your email, and I will email you. We'll make it happen, all right? I'll be looking forward to it. Mike in Madison said, happy birthday, number 7.
There you go.
He's going all Jackie Sherrill on me.
Number 7. That's what he would call you.
7's got an ankle. One time, my sophomore year, I was the starting quarterback, and I had gone through a stretch where I was not playing well. I was turning the ball over and struggling a little bit, and we went to Auburn and we won. They were the 11th ranked team in the country, and we went in there and beat them 20-0.
Oh, wow.
And in the post game, he paid me really an incredible compliment when they were kind of asking him and stuff. And he said, his quote was, number 7 didn't do anything to get us beat.
That's hilarious.
This is a true story. I like
Take it how you can get it. That's funny.
Baby steps here.
Yeah.
Real unnamed texter said, I thought Chilton County peaches were from Georgia. Thanks for the info. Yeah, I mean, Georgia, the peach state, but no, Chilton County peaches, that would be
They're
Alabama.
delicious. They're so good.
Mm-hmm. They're the real deal. Mm-hmm. The homecoming queen likes
They are so good.
Chilton County peaches.
Uh-huh.
And go to the Peach Park.
Yeah.
When it opens the right time of year, too. Have yourself a ball. Unnamed texter said, happy birthday from Madison. My brother has a food truck. Oh, Local Mobile in Tupelo.
Yeah.
Yeah, he says you should go see him. We know him.
McClellan.
Yep. Know him.
Kurt McClellan, yeah.
Kurt, and, I see him everywhere.
Yeah.
You see that truck everywhere downtown.
And he has great food.
Mm-hmm. And you talking about working.
Yeah.
I mean, there's a little, you look at someone who you think it's pretty cool to make a living just working. You have and own and operate your own food truck. Well, watch him for an hour.
Yeah, that's right.
Watch him for an hour.
Do all that shopping and all that cooking.
Hey, that's it. I see Kurt in 2 places.
And he's catering. Yeah, that's a lot of work.
I see him in 2 places. In that truck, sweating, making sandwiches, or in Kroger.
In Kroger, yeah.
Buying stuff. All right. More of your texts, more of your comments. And that's it. Hey, listen, we are live today. So if you're on YouTube or Facebook or X, formerly Twitter, watching the live stream, you can comment over there also.
Happy birthday, Matt. I've got to go.
Okay, HQ's out. Thank you very much for being here.
Bye. Bye, Beaver.
Bye, Annabeth.
So it's good to have Homecoming Queen here a little bit. The rest of the way, you got me and Beav. Let's see what happens. Stick around.
Thursday, it's Cosby starting off a night of family fun. And leave it to Family Ties to keep the laughs coming.
Oh, no. What are we going to do? Everything's under control.
Then on Cheers, will Norm fink on a friend to get a promotion?
Yeah, yes, yes.
And the fun continues with Night Court. Thursday.
For over half a century, dairymen have tried to capture in cans the flavor of pure, fresh milk. And now Foremost has discovered the secret with an evaporated milk that's closest by far to fresh milk itself.
Kind of hard to believe, isn't it? An evaporated milk that doesn't have that old-fashioned evaporated milk taste. But it's true, and you can prove it. You know how most evaporated milks taste in coffee. The flavor goes flat. But try Foremost. You'll see it's white, the way milk ought to look, not drab tan like other brands. And when you taste it, well, if you're anything like me, you'll never even know it isn't pure, fresh cream. You try it and see. That's Foremost, the closest thing in cans to pure, fresh milk. Remember, your family gets the most from Foremost.
Coca-Cola, come on, girl. Gotta share a Coke with you. Let the feeling through. You wanna live a little bit more. That's what the taste of Coke is for. Coke is like everybody wants a little life. Coca-Cola, Coke is like everybody wants.
Come on, Harry, come on. We're getting our picture taken.
Special moments. Times of your life you'll want to remember. In pictures.
Smile, Howard. Smile.
To help make those pictures look as good as they can, make sure Kodak paper is behind them. If you don't see these words, it isn't Kodak paper. Just look for this sign when you get your pictures. Kodak paper, for a good look at the times of your life.
See, wasn't that fun?
Come and get it! Come and get it!
Stop the confusion. Stop the confusion. Everybody wants to get into the act with Kellogg's Variety Pack. Buster wants the cornflakes, Pop wants a pep. Mama loves the raisin bran, Mama is hip. Sister loves Rice Krispies, and there's Uncle Jack. He loves Kellogg's shredded wheat. Kellogg's makes it fun to eat. Breakfast with Variety Pack. Okay, folks, there's your favorite individual box of cereal, fresh from Kellogg's Variety Pack, untouched by human hands, except your own. That don't mean you gotta eat with 'em. Each individual box comes to your FOD, fresh on delivery from Battle Creek, right to your own dish. Yeah, everybody wants to get into the act with Kellogg's Variety Pack. Yes, sir, Kellogg's Variety Pack.
Here comes the one, the delicious one. Heinz is the big rich one. There's only one ketchup with this flavor pouring on. So thick, so rich, so second to none.
Only one ketchup stands for this kind of thickness with this kind of taste. Heinz.
Heinz is the big rich one.
I love the rich, whole wheat goodness of Kellogg's Mini Wheats. But the delicious frosted side makes the rich kid in me open wide.
The nutritious shredded wheat helps keep me on my toes. But the little ballerina in me thinks the taste steals the show.
Kellogg's Mini Wheats, wholesome shredded wheat for the adult in you, great taste for the kid in you. So they're delicious and nutritious.
The whole grain wheat really packs a crunch, but the delicious taste gives it just the right punch.
All right, back with you. Your home team. For those that are on the live stream, I know that it may have kicked you off just then. There was a little bit of a bug in the computer here that interrupted the live stream. It looks like it has started it over. So hopefully you're able to hang in there in the stream and rejoin. Sorry about the little interruption there on the live stream. But hopefully we're back up and running. So comments should come through like normal. So if you're watching or listening to the stream on YouTube or Facebook or X, formerly Twitter, go ahead and feel free to pop a comment in there, post it, and I can pop it up here on the screen as well. Hunter said South Carolina's paying $1.2 million for a very good pass rusher. Wow. Well, hey, Hunter. Again, we can talk about it anytime you want to, but let me just say this. Me personally, and I this is almost universal. Okay. 10, not 9 times out of 10. 10 times out of 10, would be willing to pay more or to pay that amount of money for a defensive lineman or a defensive end before I would any quarterback. I am not anti-quarterback. It's not what I'm saying. I could frame it in any number of ways, okay? But I didn't know that, but you're saying that there's a story out here of South Carolina paying a pass rusher $1.2 million to come play. Here's what I'm saying. If I had to make a decision between a $1.2 million quarterback or a $1.2 million, that caliber pass rusher, I'm going pass rusher every time. 10 out of 10. I'm not devaluing quarterback. I'm just telling you how important the pass rush part of it is. And maybe I'm biased or affected or jaded by this past year, but go a year without a pass rush and see what it feels like. Change my perspective on a few things. Gene, thank you. He's on Facebook, says happy birthday. Same thing from Hunter. He gave me a old happy birthday there. Appreciate that. Hail State, fan says, wondering if we're going to have enough players to field a team with so many leaving. Hate to see Michael Van Buren and Craver go. Well, many of the players who've put their name in the portal from state, what is it, up to 21 players now? Several of those are not guys who were contributing very much, and might or might not have some options. There's a handful that will. Craver, Pollock, the corner. If Van Buren's going in there, then he'll certainly have some options. He's a really good young player. You hate to see it, but they'll bring players in. And part of that's having enough money to spend. That's the way it is. The world that we live in. Scott from Philly, thank you. He wished me a happy birthday. Earl in Madison said, okay, Matt. He said, before this annual debate begins to rage, he says, Die Hard is, in fact, a Christmas movie. Unless I already missed the heated exchanges. No, Earl, you didn't miss any heated exchanges about whether or not Die Hard is a Christmas movie, because anybody knows it's not a Christmas movie. In fact, didn't a story come out this week? It was I think it was maybe somebody who was involved with that movie. I mean, they'd have to be old, whoever they are. I don't know. It wasn't an actor. It was a director, producer, writer, or something with that movie came out and said, no, let's settle this debate. It's not a Christmas movie. But maybe I dreamed that. I don't know. So Hot Dog texted the show and said, don't worry, Matt. Trump told the Canadian Prime Minister that Canada would be the 51st state. The 51st state. Yeah, he did, didn't he? I mean, he will say anything at any time to anyone. Thanks for the birthday wishes. Thibodeau texts and says, why did Homecoming Queen and Mary Liddy have to stay up late? Doesn't Matt go to bed about half an hour after dark? Yes. Okay. And she made that point, Thibodeau. Yeah. I mean, 9 o'clock is getting into bed late for me. 9:30 is something's come up. Anything after that, something's way off. Okay, 8:30, between 8:30 and 9 is usually the time that for me the lights go out, and lights don't come back on until 4 a.m. And so that's what I meant though. They had to stay up after the homework and all that, and they did, and they surprised me this morning for my birthday. Jason in Flagstaff texted the show. He said, whatever happened to Jarius Jackson? Speaking of Tupelo High School football. Well, I don't know where Jarius lives now. I don't think he lives in Mississippi. And his football career took him all over the country. Of course, he signed with Notre Dame and became the Notre Dame starting quarterback. Played in Denver, was a starting QB for the Broncos for a little while. And, he may be in Colorado. I just don't know that. But I would love to know. You talk about a phenomenal athlete. White Denzel texts the show. He says, for those who are fans of the Ferrero Rocher and Kinder Bueno chocolate, those two are going to have their own ice cream flavor released sometime. Hey, let me bounce this one off of Beaver here and see if he knows what this is all about. Hey, B. He may be on. Hey, so you see what Denzel's texting about there? Ferrero Rocher or Rocher, and then Kinder Bueno chocolate. And I know that Kinder Bueno chocolate bar came up in a recent discussion about candy bars. But what's that other thing? You familiar with that?
What is it? Ferrero Rocher?
Yeah, it's two words.
Yeah, Ferrero Rocher. I've never had it, but it's chocolate.
Is it like
that's their brand?
Okay, it's
sounds
like
fancy again.
Yeah, it's like a fancy candy bar or something.
I think they're balls of chocolate.
Oh, okay. And so we're going to have an ice cream flavor of that sometime in 2025. You know, I'm skeptical of a lot of that stuff, B, because I think when it comes to putting chocolate with ice cream or in or on ice cream, there's only so many variations of how it can taste. I mean, at the end of it all, it's chocolate, and then it's ice cream. Am I being a simpleton? Feel free to put me in my place, but
no, I think it's fine. I saw someone say the other day in some random Instagram is such a weird place, and it's so random. And I've come across some random video the other day, and it's this guy in the grocery store, and he's in the ice cream aisle, and he's filming this ice cream, and he's telling you, hey, if you want to eat chocolate ice cream, just get vanilla, because you can add chocolate flavor, you can add chocolate syrup, but there's no vanilla syrup.
Yeah, he's got a point. It's like if you get vanilla ice cream, your options of what you can turn and will turn that into are endless. Your options are endless. But, Beaver, if you buy chocolate ice cream or mint chocolate ice cream, that's it, the end. I mean, that's what it is. It's a really good point. Never thought of that. You know what I used to do as a kid, Beaver? We would always have vanilla ice cream in the freezer. And that was, we didn't sit around eating ice cream as a kid, but that was always in there in case company came or if Mama made something like cobbler or like pound cake, and then she could serve and offer ice cream with it. You know what I'm saying? And so every now and then I would get some of that ice cream out, and to turn the vanilla ice cream into chocolate, I put that Nestle's Quick powder that we had from mixing in the milk to turn milk into chocolate milk, you know? Mm-hmm. I'd put that Nestle's Quick powder in my vanilla ice cream, mix it up. It became chocolate ice cream. That was my little engineerial experimentation as a kid. Pretty good, actually. Again, it's hard to mess it up. Yeah, more bully. We mentioned this earlier in the show, but today, December the 10th, would have been Jack Crystal's 99th birthday. He was born on this day in 1925 in Memphis, Tennessee. The legendary Jack Crystal. And Boomer Sooner ends hour one with this text to the Country Pleasing text line. It says, Matt, once again, I'll ask this question. How does anyone know what any school is paying any player? There's all these stories out there, how much money is going to each player, but is there any proof that the stories are correct? Well, you bring up an interesting question. And we will discuss it, and among other things, when we start hour number 2, right on the other side of this break, here in the Bureau on this Tuesday. The Farm Bureau Insurance Studio. Farm Bureau Insurance. Go with the home team. Stick around.
I was born and raised in Greenville. I've always called Greenville home. This is where I, was raised, went to high school, graduated high school, worked all my life here leading up to going to college. So even when I moved from Greenville, I always told people, they asked me where you're from, I always said I'm from Greenville. I have mother, father, brother, niece, aunt, all live here in Greenville. So this is home. This is where I, live, and I've just always called it home. Small town, I feel like I could walk in any place tomorrow and know 2 to 3 people in there. It's small town. Someone's on the side of the road broken down. Hey, you need a boost, flat tire, you need help changing it. That's just kind of, what I love about this area, the blues and the food and everything that comes along with the Mississippi Delta that I love. I tell people all the time, my business cards have my cell phone number on them for a reason. Insurance doesn't happen from 8 to 5. When you need me, it's going to be after 5. It hardly ever happens where you have a wreck, get pulled over, need an insurance card, wind blows, shingles off your roof. All these things happen, and it's typically after 5. And so the ability for someone to call me, get in contact with me, text me, ask me a question, and that's what it's about to me, is helping the people that we serve, is taking care of people, and them knowing that they can count on me whenever they need me. I am Brian Street with Farm Bureau Insurance in Washington County, and we are your home team.
Y'all heard me talk about Murray West and MurrayWest.com. They made the hat that I'm wearing. Got the Natchez Trace logo on it. I've told you a little bit about what they are. Contract embroidery company here in Mississippi. Started back in 1996, family owned. They do a phenomenal job, and I got to go visit their place up in New Albany. Let me show you a little bit about it. When I say they do quality stuff, they really do. And so custom apparel, team stuff, really and truly, just about every high school in the state is sending their embroidered, team gear, jackets, shirts, hats, stuff. Baseball teams, football teams, they're sending it to the folks at Murray West in New Albany. You go to their website, MurrayWest.com, you go to the bottom, you can kind of see some of the Prairie Wildlife, Ole Miss Athletics, Gentile, others that they work with. Can't recommend them enough. If you need your logo printed, embroidered, sewn on to anything, custom apparel and other stuff, make sure you go there. Murray West, you can find them online. MurrayWest.com. That's MURRY West.com.
Fast. Choose pickup with click and collect, small order shipping, and more. Go to IKEA.com today.
Let's face it.
Today's game from Tuscaloosa, Alabama.
Time was, their breakfasts were gloomy. They just didn't feel right, and they didn't know a delicious cereal could help their sad plight. So they tried this and tried that, but irregularity kept coming back all the same. For as often the case, lack of bulk in their diet was actually to blame. Once at the grocer's, the wife was so drooping and sagging that a neighbor said, "Get on Kellogg's All-Bran wagon. Why, All-Bran has a flavor that's scrumptious to eat. So rich and nut-like, makes breakfast a treat. And of course, Kellogg's All-Bran can help you each day to youthful regularity, the dietary way." "Well, it might do some good," said the wife with a sigh. "Guess I'll get some All-Bran and give it a try." Soon, breakfasts at her house were happy and bright, for delicious Kellogg's All-Bran set their day off right. Yes, All-Bran supplies all the bulk in your diet, you see, that you may need for youthful regularity. And no half-brand cereal possibly can provide.
Now, here we go.
At the Zone 1059.com.
Back with you, hour number 2 of the show, off and running here on this Tuesday. Thanks for being a part of it. I really appreciate you tuning in and listening. However, for those on the live stream, hi. Hey to you. I'm waving over there on YouTube and Facebook and out there on X, formerly Twitter. Got some stuff to get to. Old Tackle with a really interesting thought about my comments saying I would value, spending the money on a pass rusher, D tackle, D end, more so than a quarterback. And he's got an interesting thought on that. Coming to it in just a bit. There is a story out there with comments from Lane Kiffin about the utter stupidity of having a system that opens up the transfer portal wide open before all the bowls are played and stuff. And I think he's got an excellent point. I'll tell you what he said. And then I'm going to get back over to the Country Pleasing text line here and pick it back up with something that Boomer Sooner asked at the end of the first hour. And then coming to the other texts that have come in on the Country Pleasing text line from Real Unnamed and Earl and Jason and all y'all. That's all coming up. Hey, and phone lines are open to you as well. So let me give you those numbers. Today's my birthday, and we kind of just started the show in hour 1 with whole Anna Beth was here and Beaver was wishing happy birthday, and we just kind of had fun with that. And I don't know that I ever even told you. Sometimes I assume people know the numbers, and you know what happens when you assume. Don't say it. So here are the numbers for you to be a part of the show. If you want to call me, I'd love to hear from you today on the Davini phone. Davini Equipment, Madison and in Jackson, your Kubota dealer. They bring you the phone line every day on this show so that you can call. I get to hear your voice, and everybody else can hear your voice. And they don't have to listen to my voice all the time. The number to call is 601-897-1059. Got it? That's the number, 897-1059. Give me a shout. You can also text me on the aforementioned Country Pleasing text line. That number, 885-3776. Say it with me. 885-3776. 3776. Got it. Another way to remember that is 885-ESPN, and that'll get you in here. Okay, so Boomer Sooner had a question. Fire up the fight song. He had a question. How does anybody know what any school is paying any player? There's all these stories out there, he says, about how much money is going to each player. But is there any proof that the stories are correct? Well, to my knowledge, Boomer Sooner, there is no proof. To my knowledge, there is no proof. Because supposedly you can't have contracts that outline a pay-for-play agreement. So that's why you don't have the contracts for the players like you do with coaches and like pro players in the NFL have and stuff like that. So you don't have that is because, according to the rules, which, my question would be, who's going to enforce those rules? Nobody? Nobody's the answer. I don't know why anybody's looking at a rule anyway, but I guess technically, and according to the letter of the law and all this kind of stuff, they can't have a pay-for-play contract. So you don't have that, and therefore it's got to be it's pay-for-play, but we're going to wrap it in an NIL package and put a bow on it so that it can pass customs, so to speak, as a NIL deal. And that being the case, it's not something that is or has to be a public knowledge. So again, in terms of the word you say, is there any way to prove it? I don't think there is a way to just come right out and prove exactly. It's all according to word of mouth and, is there someone talking about it who knows what they're talking about? And what I would tell you is I'd put it this way. There are people on the Mississippi State side who behind the scenes would say things like, who should know what they're talking about, right? Who would say, there was somewhere 8 million-ish, give or take a little bit, tied up in Mississippi State's football roster this year. Well, and maybe it was closer to 10. I heard others say it was closer to 10. Well, but you get a ballpark on it. You feel pretty good about it based on who you hear it from. On the Ole Miss side, Walker Jones did an interview. I think he said 14 in the press box at the Egg Bowl. There's some people there on the Ole Miss side who would talk to you about it openly, who should know what they were talking about, who said, yeah, it's closer to 20 million. That's what we're looking at there for the roster. Well, okay, those kinds of things. But in terms of the individuals, again, I don't think there's any real hard proof of that. Makes you wonder if somebody couldn't float out big inflated numbers just to get attention and look impressive, and if it might parlay into actually getting someone to take your phone call and have a conversation with you about coming and play. How they used to manipulate the recruiting information. Maybe they manipulate the pay-for-play information. I don't know. But to that point about contracts, listen to this. My buddy Peter Burns from the SEC Network put out there on X this morning. He said this is all he's posted. A reminder that the transfer portal is always open for coaches. He's got a point. Nothing to stop him, never has been. They'll up and leave at the end of the year before a bowl, don't coach the last game, which I don't agree with. All that. They'll recruit a bunch of guys and say they're going to be there forever, knowing that they're going to be on the first train smoking out of there, and then they leave. All that. Southern Miss example, dandy of a hire in Coach Huff, Charles Huff, who's coming over from Marshall. Well, there's a story today that said, like, a huge number of the Marshall team is like, we get in the portal. He's gone, we're out. Coaches can leave. There are problems that go along with that. Peter said a reminder that transfer portal is always open for coaches, to which I quoted it and said, yeah, a reminder that coaches have legally binding contracts. That they negotiated. Both sides negotiated it, agreed to the terms. The contracts include buyouts both ways, buyout clauses both ways. What do you mean by that? Well, coach leaves early. He's still got contract. He up and just hightails it. The school he's going to has to pay his buyout to the school he's leaving. There's a financial cushion there or offset or whatever when it happens, and vice versa. Still got a contract. School decides, we don't want you anymore. Fired. School has to pay his buyout. That's why the people like Mullen, they collect a buyout from Florida and go sit up there and do television and don't have the pressure for 2 or 3 years and still make millions of dollars to get double up. Getting buyout from the school they coached and getting paycheck from the place they're doing a job for. They don't have to coach. In fact, that's how they collect every dime of the buyout from the school that fired them, is by not coaching. Because there's offset clauses in there that if you do go coach, then whatever you make there is offset. We don't have to pay that in our buyout. The whole point being coaches can leave anytime they want. Yeah, because they have contracts. Legally binding contracts that both sides negotiated and agreed to the terms and signed on the dotted line, and there's contract buyout clauses both ways. And right now, at least legally, you can't really sort of have that with the players. Big difference. And then there's this story out of Jacksonville, Florida, Gator Bowl stuff, press conference stuff. Ole Miss coach Lane Kiffin, this is today, on Tuesday. Today, Ole Miss coach Lane Kiffin called college football's current setup, quote, a dumb system. And let me just say something about Kiffin now. Give that man a round of applause. You can call him a hypocrite for leveraging the system, even though it's dumb. You can call him a hypocrite for, diving in eyeball deep into the transfer portal era of recruiting while criticizing it at the same time. But what else is he supposed to do? And the thing about Kiffin is he'll just come right out and say it. So today he calls college football's current setup, quote, a dumb system, and he wasn't referring to the playoff selection process for a change. Kiffin, who's been outspoken about his team and others from the powerhouse Southeastern Conference getting left out of the college football playoff, ripped the college calendar, which forces many coaches to juggle a transfer window while preparing for the bowl games. Comes on the heels of several coaches having to squeeze National Signing Day into a week of prep for conference championship games. I mean, think about it now. Think about it. Whoever is setting this stuff up and pinning it onto the calendar up there in Indianapolis said this to themselves. The first week of December, you have conference championship games, right? Right. Hey, that would be a really good week to have December National Signing Day. Okay, so you got that. Here's a quote from Kiffin. We just try to make the best of the situations. It really is a dumb system. He had another quote in there that said, just think if the NFL was getting ready for the AFC, NFC playoffs, postseason, players are in free agency already. It's a really poor system, but we just try to manage the best we can through it, and hopefully someday it'll get fixed. Great point. You compare it to the NFL. Now, again, contracts. But he's saying, can you imagine NFL playoffs, NFC, AFC, all that kind of stuff, postseason going on, playoffs? Oh, active free agency going on right then. We're not talking about a trade here or there. We're talking about active free agency. How dumb would that be? They would never do it because the NFL isn't dumb. Kiffin's comments came after first-year Duke coach Manny Diaz confirmed that starting quarterback Malik Murphy has entered the transfer portal. And they're going to turn around and play Ole Miss in a bowl game. Kiffin said this, think about what we're talking about and what Manny just had to address. A quarterback going in a portal. He said, just think about what we're talking about. The season's not over yet, and there's a free agency window open. Right. Who decided December the 9th? Okay, well, it's got to be the first semester, right? We've got to do it in the first semester. Do you? No. There's nothing that says they have to do that. Nothing. He did say today, obviously, his quarterback Jackson Dart's getting ready to play in the Gator Bowl. Both teams are 9-3. Ole Miss 9-3. Duke, they finished the season with 3 consecutive wins to get to 9-3. Manny Diaz said he told his team the more we win, the warmer the destination. That's a good way to frame it up. Here was a quote from Manny Diaz. Think a lot of Manny Diaz. From our standpoint, we adjust. This is the new normal. He says, what we're not doing right now is we're not on the road recruiting. We're not on the road babysitting our commits who up until last year were signing on the 3rd Wednesday in December. He says, so the fact we've already had a signing day, that takes one of the distressors out of December and removes that. However, the landscape changes. We adapt to it. That's what football coaches are. We're problem solvers and we're adjusters, and we adjust. And so there you go. Yeah, but, make your early signing day after the conference championship, ball games. I mean, you just have to do that. It's so simple. Hunter said, yeah, the calendar is messed up. He said Kiffin is correct on that. And I would agree. All right, so back over to the text line, the country-pleasing text line. Real unnamed texter says, oh, okay. So he said former Tupelo quarterback. He was a quarterback of the 92 Tupelo State Championship team. was a first-round pick of the Mets in the Major League Baseball draft after high school. Kirk Presley is related to Elvis. And Kirk's a great guy. Great guy. He used to coach that summer league team, the American Legion team up there too, the Tupelo 49ers. That they have a long run of big-time ball players and some major leaguers that have come through that program. He used to coach them. I think somebody else is coaching them now. Earl in Madison said, since this is my second text, just say, oh, okay, all right, sorry. What did it say? Okay, I guess I'll have to ask him, Earl. Jason in Flagstaff says, according to Google, Jarius Jackson is the interim head coach of the Edmonton Elks. Okay, didn't know that. See, and that's a Canadian League team. If you're like me and over the course of your life as a sports fan, football fan, you've been aware of the Canadian League, and you always were aware of the Edmonton Eskimos. They changed, maybe it was a woke thing, I don't know, but they changed the name on it. And so they went away from the Eskimos. They're not the Edmonton Eskimos anymore. They're the Edmonton Elks, but same place. Okay, so he's coaching up there in Canada. Good for him. White Denzel says, and I'm going to get over to this comment from Old Tackle that'll go with this. Denzel said, I agree with you, Matt, about spending the money on pass rushers. I'd also add you need to spend the money to get a stud left tackle and a really good corner and get those three things with a really good quarterback, and you have a solid foundation, just my opinion. Okay, and a lot of sense in what you're saying, and I think that we probably ought to always remember, too, that if you were in the coach's shoes and you're helping make these decisions about, you know, what you're prioritizing and where how you're budgeting whatever pay-for-play money you have, how you're budgeting it. The thing about it is, it would really sting if you went heavy after one or two guys, superstars. It eats up a lot of your pay-for-play budget. Therefore, you don't add as much quality depth as you might be able to. And then you get into the year and one of those guys gets hurt. You see what I'm saying? Like, sink $3 million in a premier corner, and 4 games into the year, he's out. You know, it's just, I know it's a risk, and maybe that's part of it, but then you're trying to make the decision of depth versus stardom also, you know, versus your need and that sort of thing. So Old Tackle said, I get your point about paying more for a defensive tackle than a quarterback. He says, I would argue that I could coach up almost any big, strong kid to be a good defensive tackle. But there is more natural talent needed to play quarterback. Okay, and I think it's a really good point, Old Tackle. But for me, the transfer portal sheds a different light on that. Let me ask you this. How often are you going to, in your words, get that big, strong kid who can develop into a defensive tackle, but how often are you going to get him and have the chance to develop him into a good defensive tackle? How often? I mean, it's increasingly rare for that high-end talent guy who needs to develop to stick around in one place and develop. 3 years later, become all SEC and get drafted like Preston Smith, who was a 2-star coming out of high school. I mean, those guys are hitting the portal after 1 year. So, again, when you look at it from a strategy standpoint, Old Tackle, what I'm saying is, yeah, I agree with you that it is a different thing. Sort of the talent and all the stuff that comes along with handling the football and playing quarterback versus kind of what the position is at defensive tackle and defensive end. Rarity that you touch the football, 2 different jobs, right? And the idea that with just the raw athleticism and size that is kind of a God-given thing, you can develop that into a great defensive front player, whereas you can either play quarterback or you can't already. Okay? But again, back when you would sign someone And 3 and 4 years later, the majority of players were at the same school, in the same program 3 to 4 years later. Well, it's right the opposite. The majority of the players are not at the same school 3 to 4 years later. I mean, so you're actually taking a risk in going the development route versus going, okay, this D tackle right here is worth it. It's a 1-year thing, and he's a draft pick. He's a top 2-round draft pick automatically next April. This defensive end, it's a 1-year investment, maybe 2, but you know what you're getting from him, and he's going to play here, and he's ready to go now. There ain't no development. You're paying because somebody else is, either him or somebody's already done the development, and you know what you're getting for that amount of money. So there's a little bit of a game you're playing there of ready now versus it's going to take a little while and then he's going to be great. Well, what are you going to do? Work with him for 2 years? He's ready to be great and he hits the portal and goes and he's great for somebody else? Who's got time for that anymore? When coaches' leashes are shorter and shorter and shorter, sadly, we're not going to see as much of the developmental stuff. We're just not. The big programs will take the approach, let somebody else develop him. We'll pay him in 3 years when he's ready to go. Stick around.
Today's game from Tuscaloosa, Alabama.
Time was, their breakfasts were gloomy. They just didn't feel right, and they didn't know a delicious cereal could help their sad plight. So they tried this and tried that, but irregularity kept coming back all the same. For as often the case, lack of bulk in their diet was actually to blame. Once at the grocer's, the wife was so drooping and sagging that a neighbor said, "Get on Kellogg's All-Bran wagon. Why, All-Bran has a flavor that's scrumptious to eat. So rich and nut-like, makes breakfast a treat. And of course, Kellogg's All-Bran can help you each day to youthful regularity, the dietary way." "Well, it might do some good," said the wife with a sigh. "Guess I'll get some All-Bran and give it a try." Soon, breakfasts at her house were happy and bright, for delicious Kellogg's All-Bran set their day off right. Yes, All-Bran supplies all the bulk in your diet, you see, that you may need for youthful regularity. And no half-brand cereal possibly can provide this help as surely as Kellogg's All-Bran. A delicious, non-habit-forming aid to your diet. You're sure to like All-Bran. Just buy it and try it.
Get on the Kellogg's All-Bran wagon with the best bran in the land. The cereal that tastes grand, the cereal that's All-Bran, a breakfast treat that can't be beat. Be a regular guy and climb aboard the All-Bran wagon. Eat Kellogg's All-Bran.
What is the secret of this enchanted book? What wonders are hidden within its pages? What magical spell does it cast on all who read it? What is the secret of the never-ending story?
But that's impossible!
You will enter a world where a young boy's imagination becomes a vivid reality. The world of Atreyu and Artax, the Rockbiter, and a good and kind gnome. A world that is vast and eternal, treacherous and dazzling. unforgettable and free. For anyone who's ever made a wish, believed in a fantasy, or had a dream, this is the never-ending story.
It's a new thing. It's a fun thing. It's a swing wing. It's a what? It's a swing wing. It's a wing wing. A brand new transit grand fun thing. It's a what? It's a swing wing. A fun thing. And now it's your favorite store thing. It's a what?
Mazda announces some great news for truck buyers. Right now, you can beat the already outstanding value of the $67.95 Mazda SE5. Introducing Mazda.com.
All right, back with you. I'm Matt in the Bureau, the Mississippi Farm Bureau Insurance Studio. Hunter said, Matt, do you think Mac Brown waited to get fired in order to get his buyout? Yeah, I don't know. Yeah, there was a little something, right, where he was explaining that they wanted him to go earlier and he didn't want to, but it didn't sound to me like that was part of the issue. Was today I don't get my buyout, in a few days I will. Y'all pull the trigger and not me. But maybe so. I know that that's how those things work. If it was a part of it, I hadn't heard anybody talk about it, I guess is what I'm saying. It certainly could be. And I think in a lot of cases it is. A coach will go, hey, you know what? I mean, all right, you can fire me if you want to. Tatted Brad texts the show. Said, Matt, how do you feel about Gunner going forward with 3 weeks to prepare, knowing he's the guy? I'm just being honest with you, Brad. It's not a tremendous drop-off from, Beck to him. It's not some tremendous drop-off. It is a drop-off in terms of experience for whatever that's worth, and it's worth something. The experience angle is worth something in college football. But just in terms of playmaking and all that kind of stuff, and the other thing too, I am a believer, Brad, in offenses being able to simplify and be simple. And if you have a physical advantage in a game, then your scheme, you ought to find every way possible to whittle it down to the most simple approach. Because especially if I've got a physical advantage, I don't want my guys thinking too much. I just want them to fire off and play fast and do something and do it well, and the physical advantage will take over. And in so many matchups, Georgia's going to have that. And I know it's a little different on offense, but I just think sometimes when an inexperienced guy gets in there, coaches with their schemes and their packages going into games are forced to simplify it, which may even be a good thing. Yeah. You get on down the line, if you advance and you play a better team, more experienced team, you run up on somebody like Oregon or somebody, it might be a different story. But if I were a Georgia fan, I wouldn't be all that nervous about it. Be real. I guess maybe the only thing would be you don't want him getting his bell rung again, and now we're down to number 3 or number 4. And that, to me, Brad, is one of the most discussed and underappreciated aspects of inexperienced quarterbacks, especially young ones that fresh out of high school, having to go in and play at that next level, at this big-time level of college football, is oftentimes it's not their ability to throw. They're there for a reason. They got the arm. They can put it down the field. Look at Van Buren at State. He was playing high school football last year. Can throw a deep ball as well as anybody you saw this year. Can absolutely forevermore throw the ball. It's not that. It's the physical part of it. Like when you do tuck it and run, man, you can practice all you want, but until you're in a game and experiencing dealing with those athletes running at you and tackling you, it's a different thing. They close faster. They run faster. They get there faster. You have less time to get down. You have to anticipate more. You won't see them coming. You know, you have to be more ball secure. And these young quarterbacks get in games, and so often you see that, don't you? Strip sacks, just getting, I'm talking about decleated, because the last real football, game football they were playing was really in high school. And this is so much faster. And practices and scrimmages only prepare you so much. The game is even different. And I had it. I played in a lot of games across 4 years. Now, that's a million years ago in the 90s, but I played across 4 years, started games my redshirt freshman year, started as a sophomore, started some games as a junior and got benched, and then played in just about all the games my senior year and started a couple that year too. So I played a lot of football and snaps across 4 years. I think I had one fumble the whole time, and it was my redshirt freshman year, the first game I ever started. And we were playing South Carolina, and I tuck it when nobody's open, it splits, and I tuck it, and I take off running. And I think I've got all day to just run out here and go get the first down and get down. And a guy comes out of nowhere. I never saw him, running faster than anybody I've ever seen run at me, and comes from kind of behind and over my right shoulder, hits me, puts his helmet right on the football, which is in my right arm, and I had it away from my body, and the ball shot out of there like a cannon. And he hit me hard enough, it's like turned to flip in the air, and I didn't know which side was up, and thought, man, it happened fast. Where'd he come from? I never even saw that guy. All that stuff is the thing with a young quarterback. And so he learned the hard way in that game, buddy, protect yourself. Get what you can get. Don't slide short of the first down. Don't step out short of the first down, but protect yourself and anticipate, because this ain't high school, buddy. They're moving faster. It's a whole different thing. So, but other than that, I wouldn't, if I were you, Brad, it wouldn't really bother me having him in there. I think you're going to be fine. He then went on to text me here on the Country Pleasing text, said Gunner is really good. He really likes to tuck it and run. Had like 78 touchdowns in high school. And Georgia's third string is Jaden Rashada, 5-star kid from Arizona State. There you go. See, and that's it. I mean, a kid like that, Brad, he's going to be fine. And probably that experience in that game the other day against Texas was a little bit of an eye-opener of, okay, yeah, I get it now. It does. We had scrimmages here, but it's a playoff type game at this level. Everything's moving faster. The passing game is one thing, but when you tuck it and run, it's a whole different animal. Brando texts the show. Country Pleasing text. Sorry, I had to take a sip of coffee from High Point Roasters in New Albany, Mississippi. Brando said, Matt, 2 questions. What are your thoughts on Carson Beck being out for Georgia to win out? And I know we just talked about it there. He said, secondly, is Oregon as fast as they look on television? Holy smokes, they look fast. Yes, they are. They are as fast as they look on television. They to me do look like the best team in it. And I feel bad. I didn't get to watch Oregon play that much this year. I didn't make a point to go back and watch replays. I didn't see them play that much. Just kind of assume they're good, and then you see them the other day and you're like, whoa. Okay. And one reason they look so fast, I think, on offense, Brando, is because the little quarterback, the little left-handed quarterback who played for Levy at Oklahoma, he's a little bit like Tua was in college in that he anticipates what's happening so quickly and gets the ball in there so quickly that guys have a chance to, catch and run. Their offense just seems to be happening at a little bit faster pace and just a little bit, you have less time to react against their offense because he is so quick with everything that he's doing. Scott, wished me a happy birthday, a fellow Prattvillean. Thanks, Scott. I appreciate you. Earl in Madison said, oh, he messed up. He was trying to send multiple texts to different people all at the same time, and here on the show we got one of the wrong ones. Happens often. You're not the only one, Earl. No big deal. Kenny texted the show and said, as my grandmother from Moorville, Mississippi would say, pay for play has, quote, ruined college football. Hey, Neil Price and I were having a funny conversation about that one day. It was in the press box before one of the games, and it wasn't pay for play related. It was something else, but the word ruined came up, and then the word turnt. Now, some of them have different meanings now versus what they used to. And we decided that, the word for kids now, the word turnt is a good thing. But in our day, it meant, don't you drink that milk. I'm telling you, it's old. It's turnt. Don't touch it. Throw that out. Patches agrees with me. Defense wins championships. Yeah. I mean, you have to be good on offense, but you don't have to be great. You just don't. But you want to win something, you want to win it, you got to be great on defense. You must be great on defense. Kansas City Chiefs defense still doesn't get enough credit for what it has been, has done, and is doing. They are great on defense in Kansas City. They build it all around a guy from Nettleton, Chris Jones. Future Hall of Famer. Chiefs! Not that I'm biased or anything. Good question. Hunter on YouTube says, Matt, you going to fill out a football bracket like we all do the March Madness? He said, I bet nobody saw the 3 spot going to Boise State and the ACC winner at number 12. Yeah. Some prizes. It's a good idea. That is the first time, Hunter, that it has crossed my mind that maybe I ought to fill out a bracket. Even though it's only 12 teams, we ought to do that. Good idea, Hunter. Thank you. All right. Little bit of time left with you here on this Tuesday when we come back in the Bureau, Mississippi Farm Bureau Insurance Studio. Farm Bureau Insurance. Go with the home team. Back after this.
Thursday, it's Cosby starting off a night of family fun. And leave it to family ties to keep the laughs coming.
Oh, no. What are we going to do? Everything's under control.
Then on Cheers, will Norm think on a friend to get a promotion?
Yeah, yes, yes.
And the fun continues with Night Court. Thursday.
For over half a century, dairymen have tried to capture in cans the flavor of pure, fresh milk. And now Foremost has discovered the secret with an evaporated milk that's closest by far to fresh milk itself.
Kind of hard to believe, isn't it? An evaporated milk that doesn't have that old-fashioned evaporated milk taste. But it's true, and you can prove it. You know how most evaporated milks taste in coffee. The flavor goes flat. But try Foremost. You'll see it's white, the way milk ought to look, not drab tan like other brands. And when you taste it, well, if you're anything like me, you'll never even know it isn't pure, fresh cream. You try it and see. That's Foremost, the closest thing in cans to pure, fresh milk. Remember, your family gets the most from Foremost.
Coca-Cola, come on, girl. Gotta share a Coke with you. Let the feeling show through. You wanna live a little bit more. That's what the taste of Coke is for. Coke is life. Everybody wants other life. Coca-Cola, Coke is life. Everybody wants.
Come on, Harry, come on. We're getting our picture taken.
Special moments. Times of your life you'll want to remember. In pictures.
Smile, Howard. Smile.
To help make those pictures look as good as they can, make sure Kodak paper is behind them. If you don't see these words, it isn't Kodak paper. Just look for this sign when you get your pictures. Kodak paper, for a good look at the times of your life.
See, wasn't that fun?
Come and get it! Come and get it!
Stop the confusion. Stop the confusion. Everybody wants to get into the act with Kellogg's Variety Pack. Buster wants the cornflakes. Pop wants a pep. Mama loves the Raisin Bran. Mama is hip. Sister loves Rice Krispies. And there's Uncle Jack. He loves Kellogg's shredded wheat. Kellogg's makes it fun to eat. Breakfast with Variety Pack. Okay, folks, there's your favorite individual box of cereal. Fresh from Kellogg's Variety Pack. Untouched by human hands, except your own. That don't mean you gotta eat with 'em. Each individual box comes to you FOD, fresh on delivery from Battle Creek, right to your own dish. Yeah, everybody wants to get into the act with Kellogg's Variety Pack. Yes, sir, Kellogg's Variety Pack.
Here comes the one, the delicious one. Heinz is the big rich one. There's only one ketchup with this flavor pouring on. So thick, so rich, so second to none.
Only one ketchup stands for this kind of thickness with this kind of taste. Heinz.
Heinz is the big rich one.
I love the rich, whole wheat goodness of Kellogg's Mini Wheats. But the delicious frosted side makes the rich kid in me open wide.
The nutritious shredded wheat helps keep me on my toes. But the little ballerina in me thinks the taste steals the show.
Kellogg's Mini Wheats, wholesome shredded wheat for the adult in you, great taste for the kid in you, so they're delicious and nutritious.
The whole grain wheat really packs a crunch, but the delicious taste gives it just the right punch.
Back with you, I'm Matt. Rolling along here on this Tuesday, December 10th, in the Bureau, Mississippi Farm Bureau Insurance Studio. Thanks to everyone for the happy birthday wishes. Also today, mentioned born on this day 99 years ago, the late, great Jack Crystal. Mr. Rappin' in Maroon and White. Today would have been Jack's 99th birthday. Yeah, and the state of Mississippi officially became a state on this day, December 10th, 1817, right? Yeah, 1817. Yeah, so 207 years ago. All right, let's see. Who else got birthdays today? Is there anyone else whose name we recognize? Bobby Flay, the chef. Hey, let me check in with B real quick on something. Hang on. Hey, B, where you at?
Right here.
You a big Food Network guy?
No, not a lot.
Okay.
I used to really like, who was that guy?
Guy Fieri?
No, not him. Duff something. He baked the cakes.
Okay.
Charm City Cakes, I think.
Okay. Was he the guy that had the real round head?
Yes.
Shaved his head, big eyes.
That's him.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
I know exactly who you're talking about. Yeah, he's great.
They made those really elaborate cakes.
Uh-huh.
I always thought that was so neat how they did that, because you're basically making, some of them seemed like basically sculptures out of cakes.
Right. Have you seen the show called Is It Cake?
I've seen little like clips on Instagram.
Yeah, I figured you probably...
Yeah, like they show, you talking about like, it looks like a steak, but then they cut into it, it might be cake.
Yes.
Yeah.
It's a whole like game show sort of thing with people making cakes. And I think you can watch it on Netflix, Steve. Like if you go on Netflix, you can watch whole seasons of it. It's really entertaining because the host is funny, and they'll have two people competing, and then you have the judge. You're trying to fool the judges. You want your cake to look so realistic, and one I saw. I'm just giving an example. Was it was like a pail, a little plastic pail with sand in it, and a little plastic shovel, like at the beach, that the kids' toys, when they're playing in the sand at the beach. You know what I'm talking about? Mm-hmm. And so they had an actual little blue pail with sand in it and a little shovel stuck down in there. And your job was to make a cake that looked so real that the judges from a few feet away couldn't tell which one was actually the real thing or was it cake. And so, and the way is like the judges go, okay, I choose I think the real one is number 5, and they go over there and they take a knife to it to see if it'll actually cut into it, whether it's cake or not, They do that whole thing. It's a neat thing. So if you like that show, you probably enjoy that.
See, I didn't know that was a real thing. Because like we said earlier, Instagram is one of the weirdest places in the world. And I thought it was just another random stuff that some rando had created.
Yeah. It's, but I just ask you that because, we as a family over the years have watched a lot of Food Network stuff. We've enjoyed a lot of their programming. And Bobby Flay is one of the mainstays on most of those shows. And then he has his own show, the Beat Bobby Flay, where somebody cooks against him and you have judges or whatever. But anyway, today's Bobby Flay's birthday. That's the only name on the list that I really recognize. Let's see. Of course, Emily Dickinson, I recognize that. She lived from 1830 to 1886. Poet Emily Dickinson. That's another one who's had a birthday today.
I'm seeing Michael Clark Duncan.
Oh, yeah?
The massive gentleman from the Green Mile.
Oh, yeah. How about that? Yeah, he passed away. Gosh, it's hard to believe it's been 12 years. He's been gone for 12. He passed away in 2012. Yeah, Michael Clark Duncan. What was his line in Talladega Nights?
Don't you put that evil on me, Ricky Bobby.
That's it. That was it. When I think of him, I don't think of Green Mile. I think of that for whatever reason. Okay. So those are some of the birthdays. Let's see. Today, December 10th, since it's my birthday and these others. Oh, here you go, Beeve. I didn't know we had one of these. December 10th is National Dewey Decimal System Day. Did y'all have the Dewey Decimal System at Pearl High School?
Remind me what that is again.
Dewey Decimal System celebrates a system of classification for your library. He was a librarian. He invented the Dewey Decimal System. It has been in use since 1876. Divided into 10 main categories, a numerical system arranges mostly nonfiction publications. The reason I know it is because for whatever reason, for myself growing up as a kid in school in North Alabama, is we were drilled on how to find the books you're looking for according to the Dewey Decimal System. All the books in the library at school were arranged according to the Dewey Decimal System. And so they drilled us on how to, if this is what you're looking for, this is how you find it. And then if you ever helped in the library, you had to know it because you had to know how to put the book back where it's supposed to go. Yeah, well, anyway. That's all I got on that, B. This is one of those, Beaver, this is one of those moments of Brooks moments. How we doing on time, Beef?
How much time we got left?
That's what that is. Let's see. Patches, thank you. He texted here a second ago and said happy birthday, and he put Snoopy on there for me. Man, I'm a huge fan of Peanuts. The Peanuts gang, Charles Schultz, who was an absolute genius. I don't know. I've just always been fascinated with him and with Charlie Brown and Peanuts. We had the Nutcracker last week, Beeve. For my birthday, Anna Beth gave me a Charlie Brown Nutcracker. Yep, we're crossing the streams here. Bryce Oh, yeah. Okay. We got another birthday to mention. Another reason, throw some Hail State in there. Bryce says, happy birthday to my cousin, Justin Jenkins, former MSU wideout. Yep.
And Pearl Pirate legend.
Pearl Pirate legend. We probably should have said that first. Then Mississippi State wideout. Then NFL wideout for the Philadelphia Eagles. And all-around great guy, Justin Jenkins. Happy birthday, Justin. And I think he and his family are still in the area. Now, I want to say he's raising some young, big-time athletes in the family over there, too.
Oh, yeah. Let me tell you why I know that. Because your best friend in the world, Chris Brooks, who always takes your calls, he used to just find pleasure in reminding me that Northwest Rankin stole Justin Jenkins and his kid away from Pearl.
He's playing baseball over there, right? I think. Maybe he plays everything. He probably does. I didn't realize that. So Brooks, what's Brooks got with Northwest Rankin? I mean, he didn't go to school there.
Well, all his kids went there, and one of them still goes there, and they all played or are playing baseball there.
So Brooks has adopted Northwest Rankin just because his kids went to school there.
Yeah.
See how I worded that? Well, Brooks is from Simpson County, isn't he?
Simpson. Lawrence County.
Lawrence County? Okay. Well, all right. So he didn't even go to, Brooks himself didn't even go to school at Northwest Rankin, but he chooses to do a little trash talking on their behalf?
Yeah.
Brooks, what's that all about? That's wishy-washy, man.
Oh, he would take it a step further, and he would Capital Sports or Mississippi Gridiron, whatever you want to call it.
Yeah.
He would take pictures and put specifically, like I would just see Facebook posts of Player of the Week, and interesting how so many times it just happened to be a Northwest Rankin player.
Are we picking up a pattern, you say?
Mm-hmm.
See, being nice to Chris to get him to come on this show has not worked. So, Beaver, we got to try another method. And so maybe it's just we just call him out, see if we can't bait him into like coming on here to defend himself or something. Okay, Bryce said that Justin's kids are now at JA. So they're no longer at Northwest Rankin. All right. Well, there you go. Justin Jenkins, a phenomenal athlete. Great person, too. All right, that'll wrap it up for today. Thanks, everybody. Texts, phone calls, comments on the live stream. Appreciate y'all. On this Tuesday, for Beaver, I'm Matt. All of us here on the show in the Bureau. We'll see you tomorrow. Same time, same place. See you then.